Hello tacticians and strategists, welcome back to Strategic Mind, Spirit of Liberty, the free prologue and the tutorial, and playing hardball. So we are here to check out this game, which is basically more modern, more sophisticated version of the old Panzer General concept. So there are already quite a number of games here in the Pacific, Blitzkrieg, so for the Axis, for the Allied, the Fight for Freedom, and now the Spirit of Liberty, which is dealing with the Finnish War, where the Soviet Union attacked Finland in 1939. Yeah, and that's actually pretty interesting. So we had done a little bit of the tutorial. We learned about attack movement and stuff, about the supply infrastructure, supply points, supply lines and stuff. I find that one pretty interesting. And that will add up a lot of depth to our fights. Yeah. But also gives a bigger danger, a higher danger level to us, because we have to defend our supply lines. But I find that one more interesting, and I think in the long term that will make the game way more interesting actually. So, and then we learned about how to get equipment for our units, how to level up and stuff, and I find that one also really interesting, so the troops can have skills, and that's really cool. Yeah, let's continue with the fourth part, transportation of troops.
Hello, Commander. In this operation, you will learn about the transportation and troop movement across the vast operational areas. Your task is to capture the northern island. To complete it, your troops will have to cross the channel first.
I think the sound seems to vary a little bit. Oh, I can't change it now, okay.
The easiest way to do it is to board the naval transport. Select the tank unit.
Just let me do this one first. Speech volume. Maybe like this.
On the lower right panel, find and click on the embarkation button.
Embarkation allows the unit to embark on air, naval, or train transports for command points.
In the menu, select Embark on a ship. It did not work, did it? That's because you can only embark on a ship next to an operational seaport. Fortunately, you've got one nearby. Move the tank unit into the seaport hex.
That was a nice methodological
Click on the
aspect
embarkation button.
that it didn't work. Okay, then let's embark on the ship. So it
Note
costs-
that you cannot change a unit's equipment while it's inside a transport of any kind.
Yeah.
Perfect. Your tank unit has boarded a transport ship. Now move the ship to the opposite coast into the highlighted hex.
There was a right click.
The only thing left is to click on the disembark button. It seems we forgot to mention that all heavy vehicles can only be unloaded at a seaport. Naval transport is an excellent way to transport your troops, but the fastest way to redeploy is by air. Air transports can cover large distances fast and bring your troops to virtually any location of any map. However, only infantry units can board an airplane. Moreover, such transport is vulnerable to enemy fighters and anti-air guns. Be very careful. Loading your troops onto air transport will require an operational airfield. Select the highlighted infantry unit. Click on the embarkation button. Select Embark on an airplane.
Loading is impossible. The unit has heavy equipment or ground transport, cannot load onto an aircraft.
It seems they couldn't do it. The problem is your unit has ground transport. Click on the infantry unit with your middle mouse button to open the unit info screen. Select the Equipment tab.
They can take cover. This is range and air. Okay. Coastal landing. Can disembark and clear on shallow terrain. If you have ground transport, not amphibious or heavy equipment, this ability is lost. Yeah, so we could actually make marines.
Select
right?
your ground transport.
Okay, we've got Opel Blitz.
Click on the Discard button. Great! Now your infantry is ready to board an air transport. Close the unit info screen. Click on the Embarkation button. Select Embark on an airplane. Air transport has 15 move points, which allows it to bring troops across huge distances in one turn. Move the air transport to the highlighted hex on the northern island. Click on the Disembark button. Unfortunately, units can only disembark from the air transport at an operational airfield. Yet there is one exception to this rule: paratroopers. Select them. Click on the Embarkation button. Select Embark on an airplane. Travel to the highlighted hex.
I'm not so sure about the painting of
Land the paratroopers in the enemy's rear.
Ah, this is the fuel. Okay, that's interesting.
It surely was a splendid idea, but paratroopers can only land on clear terrain, and our offensive seems to have slowed down. So let's have a look at the terrain and movement types. Open the highlighted hexes info screen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I clicked too quickly. What did you say? Can we actually repeat this one? No. Okay. Anyway.
Every hex has a set of parameters affecting both the troops' movement and combat. At the top of the info screen, you can see terrain type. In our case, it's forest. In the left column, you can see the move point cost that units have to spend to enter this hex. In the right column, you can see the information about combat bonuses or penalties the unit in this hex will have. At the bottom, you can read more about this terrain type and the infrastructure present in it, if there is any.
I find that one very, very convenient because in the old Panzer General and, for example, Panzer Corps, you always have to look into the manual unless you want to remember all these numbers. So that's actually pretty convenient. Road, railway, line of fire, no. Camouflage +1, so that's pretty interesting.
Close the hex info screen. Open the tanks unit info screen. Now close the unit info screen.
Ah, sorry, I clicked too quickly. Well, but we know... Yeah? Oh no, sorry. Well, I clicked too quickly, but... We know something about it.
Click on the End Turn button.
Well then. Ah, okay, so this is actually like it would be good to have a repeat, you know, repeat the last information. Well, and there's nothing here. I just clicked too quickly. But well, I guess he said that the tank can only be yeah, disembarked here at the naval area. So our guys need to find a way to get here, and that was actually, like in real history, that was actually one of the doctrines, that the paratroopers were actually rather landing at an airport and seize it, you know, and then establishing a landing zone around, you know, establishing a perimeter around the airport and then bringing in their planes to unload their stuff. You know, it wasn't always like that. They always jumped down with parachutes, right? So let's end the turn.
Your troops are ready to begin the assault, Commander. It is time we take this island. Our paratroopers will be the vanguard of our advance. Select the paratroopers on the units panel. Move the unit to the highlighted hex. Note that if your troops land next to an enemy unit, they will be automatically attacked, as they will be an easy target. Thus, it is better to land further from cities and enemy positions. Click on the disembark button.
That's a logical.
Drop
and
the
nice
paratroopers
game.
in the highlighted hex. Your paratroopers can still move after the landing. Move them closer to the city. There's an enemy unit in the city. Let's bombard it before attacking it with our troops. Now select the bomber. Attack the enemy infantry. Select your paratroopers. Now finish off enemy infantry with your paratroopers.
1 lethal damage against 4.
Occupy the seaport the enemy was guarding. Great, the seaport is ours. Using the units panel, select the tank unit aboard the transport ship. Move it to the highlighted hex. Click on the disembark button. Click on the highlighted hex. Finally, our tanks have some solid ground under their tracks. As the unit can still move after disembarkation, order it to capture the airfield. Now we have only the infantry left to disembark. Select it on the unit panel. Move the plane closer to the airfield. Click on the disembark button. Click on the highlighted hex. All of your troops have now successfully landed on the northern island. Click on the end turn button.
Okay, we can't move.
There is still one enemy-controlled city on the island. It is across the river and is connected to the seaport both by road and by the railroad. A word about rivers. There are 2 types of them in the game, big and small. Big river occupies an entire hex and normally cannot be crossed without boarding a ship. Only infantry without ground transport and heavy equipment can cross it on foot. Unlike any other unit, infantry can even attack from the river, but with serious penalties to both attack and defense parameters. Small rivers run between hexes. All units can cross them but have to spend additional move points to do so. Units can attack across small rivers, but with serious penalties to combat parameters. Moving back to the big rivers, the easiest way to cross them is by finding a bridge. However, you must be careful. While on the bridge, your troops are vulnerable and get serious combat penalties. Select the tank unit. Move it towards the enemy city. Good. As the infantry cannot keep up with the tanks on foot, you should make use of transport. First, select the paratroopers. Order them to capture the railroad station. The railroad is a great way to quickly redeploy your troops. Additionally, it connects remote supply points to the supply hub across great distances. Its only downside is that you can only use the existing railroad network. Click on the Embarkation button. Select the Embark on a Train. Send the train with paratroopers into the highlighted hex.
Very nice and beautiful train.
A few more words about the ground transport. Wheeled trucks and tracked personnel carriers are the basic transport of any land army. Any unit that isn't self-propelled can be equipped with transport vehicles. Open the infantry's unit info screen. Click on the vehicle slot. Here you can see the list of all vehicles available. Over the course of the campaign, the list will expand with new models. Select the truck from the list. Click on the Acquire button. Perfect. Now your infantry can keep up with the self-propelled units. Infantry with ground transport can move further than its usual 3 hexes. However, while inside its vehicle, the unit is considered an easy target. Moreover, it will not be able to attack on its current turn. Hexes that can only be reached by boarding ground transport are marked with a truck icon. Select the infantry unit. Move the infantry into the highlighted hex.
Oh, there's a skull there. That's not a good idea.
That was a good demonstration of what could happen if you send your troops forward recklessly, without proper reconnaissance. The risk of losing them is high. Being an easy target, your unit will automatically be attacked by all enemy troops if it enters their gun range.
That is pretty nasty.
Click on the End Turn button. Select the tank unit. Advance with your tank and capture the railroad station right under the enemy's nose. Now attack the enemy artillery.
9 soft attack of our tank against 7 total defense. 4 to 1 and they return fire but shouldn't have...
Excellent. Now select the paratroopers on the unit panel. Send them to the hex next to the station.
That's quite beautiful.
Click on the Disembark button. Disembark the unit into the highlighted hex. You have approached the enemy artillery from the rear. Your unit has to attack across the small river, and under different circumstances, it could be a bad idea. However, in our case, the enemy artillery is out of ammunition, so you can ignore the penalties for attacking across the small river. Finish off the enemy. Move into the highlighted hex to begin the attack. Finish off the enemy artillery.
9 strength from Fallschirm, but -4 across the river. They have 5 total defense.
The enemy has been defeated. The city is defenseless, and there's no stopping us from capturing it. Occupy the enemy supply point. Congratulations! The operation was a success. Click on the Finish Operation button to exit to the tutorial menu.
Okay, so this one, the victory points seem to be always the same, or what? Well, anyway, that's a pretty interesting concept. Yeah, well, so I like it. And, well, there's one more tutorial. We'll cover that one in the next episode. So I hope you guys like this one. Please do share your thoughts. I like the mechanics. It makes the whole game way more interesting, especially in the long term, I think. And it's also kind of more realistic. Of course, we need to think more, but that's always good for our brains. it might take way longer to play it because you know, you have to check out everything and consider the parameters. That is a thing. But I think it is way more interesting, and I love to fiddle around, you know, and personalize my units. So I think it will be very interesting, yeah. And also like to build units in a way that they are really good for certain situations, yeah. So I see a very high potential here. So, and if I hadn't already started quite a number of Let's Plays, I would immediately start with this one here. But it is pretty high on my list, and after finishing a couple of other projects, I will do this one. So please share your thoughts, what you think. I would appreciate that very much, and I would also appreciate if you click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never ever miss an episode again. See you next time. Bye bye.